Some people move through the world like shadows, leaving others guessing, scrambling, desperate to decipher their next move. They don't raise their voices. They don't beg for attention. They simply withdraw, and suddenly, the entire dynamic shifts. The energy changes. People start to question, to chase, to hunger for what they can no longer grasp. Now imagine if you did the same. If you stopped reacting on command. If you chose silence over outbursts, strategy over impulse. What would happen? That's where the game begins. When you stop being emotionally available at the drop of a hat. When you refuse to explain, justify, or defend yourself on demand. The world around you trembles because people are accustomed to controlling you through your predictability, your reactions, your need to be understood. But the moment you step back, the moment you become an enigma, the rules shatter. And those who thought they had you figured out are left staring into the abyss of their own ignorance. Machiavelli once wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." Think about that. When you become unreadable, who panics? Who lashes out? Who tries to provoke you? Who suddenly starts paying attention? Their desperation reveals everything. It shows you who was feeding on your openness, your predictability, your need to be liked. You've been conditioned to believe that dominance comes from force, from loud declarations, from overt power plays. But true control is subtler. It lives in the pauses between your words, in the moments you refuse to engage, in the way you let others drown in the silence they're so desperate to fill. Every time you react on impulse, you hand them a leash, and they will use it. This isn't about cruelty. It's about sovereignty. It's about recognizing that your energy is finite, and most people will drain it without a second thought. They don't want you. They want what you provide. Validation, attention, a mirror for their own insecurities. But when you stop supplying it, when you become a locked door instead of an open wound, their true intentions surface. So I ask you, how long will you let others dictate your emotional state? How long will you jump when they snap their fingers, explain when they demand answers, beg for approval from those who've never earned it? Maybe it's time to disappear, to let them wonder, to let them fear what you might do next. Because when you stop playing by their rules, you force them to play by yours. You were taught to be transparent, to wear your heart on your sleeve, to believe that vulnerability is strength. But here's the truth they never told you. Visibility is vulnerability. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to manipulate. The more you explain yourself, the more ammunition you give them. The more you seek to be understood, the more power you surrender. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that the prince who reveals his hand loses the game before it's even played. The art of dominance isn't in brute force, it's in calculated ambiguity. It's in letting others think they know you while you remain 3 steps ahead. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. What did they want? A reaction, a crack in the armor, proof that they could still pull your strings. Now imagine if you gave them nothing. No anger, no defense, not even the satisfaction of your indifference. Just silence, just absence. How quickly would their power crumble? This is the first rule of outsmarting anyone. Make them need you more than you need them. And the fastest way to do that is to disappear. Let them fill the void with their own fears, their own projections. Let them wonder if they've lost you. Let them chase. But be warned, this isn't for the faint of heart. The moment you withdraw, the moment you refuse to dance to their tune, they will escalate. They will test you. They will push harder, desperate to regain control. And that's when you must hold the line. Because the second you break, the second you give in, you teach them exactly how to break you again. So ask yourself, who have you been too available to? who has been feasting on your attention, your time, your emotional labor. And what would happen if you cut off the supply? Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Now apply that here. When you stop reacting, who gets irritated? Who panics? Who suddenly starts love-bombing or guilt-tripping or playing the victim? Their behavior is a mirror. It shows you exactly where your power was leaking. Most people don't want you. They want the role you play in their story. The therapist, the savior, the punching bag, the cheerleader. And as long as you keep playing that role, they'll keep casting you in it. But the moment you step out of the script, the moment you refuse to perform, the entire production collapses. This is the second rule. Let them reveal themselves. Stop filling the silence. Stop smoothing things over. Stop making yourself indispensable to those who treat you as disposable. Just watch. Just wait. The truth will come rushing in like a flood. And when it does, you'll see it. The desperation of those who can't control you anymore. The fury of those who can't predict you. The sudden kindness of those who realize they've taken you for granted. All because you stopped feeding the beast. But here's the hardest part. You must be willing to lose them. You must be willing to let them walk away, to let them call you cruel, to let them rewrite history, to paint themselves as the victim. Because if you crawl back at the first sign of their displeasure, you've just shown them exactly how to reel you in next time. So tell me, what are you more afraid of? Losing them or losing yourself? The modern world is addicted to noise, to constant connection, to instant reactions, to the dopamine hit of being needed. But silence is the ultimate power move. It's the weapon of those who understand that dominance isn't taken, it's surrendered by others when they realize they can no longer control you. Machiavelli knew that the prince who speaks less is feared more, that the less you reveal, the more others project onto you. Their fears, their fantasies, their assumptions. And once you grasp this, you realize their need to figure you out is your greatest leverage. This is the third rule. Become a black hole. Give them nothing to work with. No reactions, no explanations, no emotional breadcrumbs. Let them spin stories in their heads. Let them second guess. Let them wear themselves out trying to decipher you. Because here's the secret. People would rather believe a lie they've crafted than accept a truth they can't control. So let them. Let them convince themselves you're ruthless. Let them fear your next move. Let them exhaust themselves trying to read between lines that aren't even there. But remember, this isn't about manipulation for its own sake. It's about self-preservation. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your mind, your emotions, your energy. And the quicker you learn that, the quicker you'll see who truly values you and who just valued what you provided. So, who's been draining you? And what's it costing you to keep letting them? Jung called it the shadow, the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. But here's what he didn't say. Your shadow is also your weapon. The parts of you that others fear, the traits they call ruthless or cold, the instincts they've shamed you for suppressing, those are the very things that will free you. Because the world doesn't reward kindness. It rewards strength. Not the loud, performative kind, but the quiet, unshakable kind. The kind that doesn't flinch when tested. The kind that knows when to walk away and let others destroy themselves in your absence. This is the fourth rule. Let your silence speak louder than their noise. Stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop trying to make them understand. The more you justify, the more you invite debate. The more you debate, the more you concede power. So try it. Next time someone demands an explanation, give them none. Next time they bait you, leave them hanging. Next time they expect a reaction, give them a blank stare instead. Watch how quickly the balance shifts. But be ready. The moment you do this, they'll escalate. They'll pull out every trick, guilt, anger, false concern, anything to get you back under control. And that's when you'll know it's working. Because the only people who fear your silence are those who benefited from your words. The final rule is the simplest and the most brutal. Stop caring what they think. Not in the edgy, performative way, but in the bone-deep, unshakable way of someone who's realized a fundamental truth. The opinions of those who don't pay your bills, who don't share your bed, who don't hold your hand in the dark, mean nothing. Machiavelli didn't waste time worrying about being liked. He understood that respect is infinitely more valuable, and respect isn't won by people-pleasing. It's won by being unpredictable, by being unbreakable. So ask yourself, what would change if you stopped seeking approval? If you stopped fearing their disappointment? If you stopped rearranging yourself to fit their expectations? The answer is everything. But we're not done yet. Because what comes next, what happens when you fully embrace this, is where the real transformation begins.